ABC News reports that, reading now, former President Donald Trump has begun to shut down the possibility of a second debate against Vice President Kamala Harris after debating her Tuesday night, claiming he doesn't need to debate her again because he won the debate. Trump told ABC News late Tuesday, well, she wants a second debate because she lost tonight very badly. So we'll think about that, but she immediately called for a second. And then later on, he was talking to Hannity, and he said the same kind of thing. He's going to think about another debate. We're looking at it, but when you win, you don't really necessarily have to do it a second time. So we'll see. But we had, I thought we had a great debate last night. I just don't know. We'll think about it. Okay. I think Trump is on the right track here. I may be in the minority among conservatives, or maybe I'm not. I don't know. But I think that Trump should not do a second debate. And I think he should just say that he's not doing it. I don't think that we should do this thing of being coy about it and, hey, we'll think about it. And I don't know. I know that Trump is a showman, so he likes to drag these kinds of things out. And will he or won't he? Very reality TV-esque. But I think in this case, it makes you look like you're waffling, and it could make you look like you're weak or scared. So it's better to just say, no, whatever your answer is, just give it and say, look, obviously here's my answer to this, and stick to it. But I agree that you can't walk into another 3-on-1 cage match situation. It would be totally ridiculous, politically suicidal, really, to volunteer to be ganged up on again. That would never happen in the reverse. Kamala Harris, of course, her campaign would never want to, and her campaign would never in a million years allow her to walk into a situation where they know that there's going to be two moderators who are against her actively and trying to embarrass her the entire way. Not ever going to happen. It's like signing up for a boxing match where the ref is being paid by the other guy, and you know it, and yet you go, no, it's not. You're not going to do that, and not because you're scared of the guy, but because it's just, why would I? It's completely rigged. I'm not going to take part in my own, I'm not going to allow you to screw me over and volunteer for it. So if you were to agree to it, if Trump was to agree to a debate, it would have to be somewhere other than mainstream corporate media. Well, it could be on Fox. Better yet, you could do it somewhere totally outside of the cable news box. I would push for an unmoderated debate. Would be great. I've been saying that forever. I'm not the only one, but I'd love to see a debate where, okay, it's 2 hours and we've got 4 topics, and we're going to do 30 minutes on each topic. So if there's a moderator, that's the only thing the moderator is doing, is just, okay, here's the first topic, go. And once we get to about 30 minutes, I'll throw the next topic at you. And that's all that I'm doing as the moderator. I'm not doing anything else. I think that would be interesting. Doing a debate on Joe Rogan, or if you want to bring this into the 21st century and go on one of these podcasts, and it doesn't have to be an official kind of traditionally formatted debate, but just have both candidates sit there and talk to Joe for 2.5 hours. That would be very revealing. It would tell us way more than any of these kind of stuffy, formatted, scripted debates on a news channel. But Kamala's never going to agree to that, obviously. She's only going to agree to a traditional moderated debate. And I don't think Trump should willingly walk into that again. It won't be fair. It'll be rigged. And look, this part I know I will be in the minority, but I don't, it's not a great format for Trump. Trump is not, he had some great debate performances in 2016, but he hasn't had a great one since then. I mean, there was the Biden one in this cycle, but Biden was decaying on screen. He has dementia. And so, he would have lost if he was debating nobody, right? Not to take anything away from Trump, but that's just, we know that. So it's hard to count that, and you got to go back then to 2016. In 2016, it was so unorthodox. Nobody had ever seen anything like this, the way that Trump approaches these things. It was so bewildering for his opponents, both in the primaries, especially in the primaries, but even in the general election, that he kind of knocked his opponents back on their heels, and they never figured out. That was the whole story of 2016, that they, first his primary opponents especially, they got fed to the wolves completely. They had no idea what they were getting themselves into. And and then Hillary too. They just never figured out how to approach this. Well, Trump's been in politics now for almost a decade. He's the shock factor and the novelty is worn off completely, as it would for anybody. I mean, you've been doing this for 10 years. Which means that now, if you want to win the debates, if you want to win one of these kind of old-fashioned standard political debates, you got to kind of win it the old-fashioned way. Which means a disciplined performance, giving clean, crisp answers, staying relentlessly on message. Right? That's what it means to be good at one of those kinds of debates. It's a particular skill set, especially when you know you got the moderators against you. But even without even if the moderators were playing it relatively fairly, if you take out 2016 as kind of an outlier, we're sort of back into what it's always been, which is it's a particular skill set to succeed in one of those debates. Because it's not even really a debate. That's the point. You're not really debating. Kamala Harris did not debate Donald Trump. The moderators debated Trump more than Kamala did. The only thing Kamala did was she went in there and she had a whole bunch of script. She had her script memorized, and she did a good job of memorizing it. And she had her talking points, and she just stuck to them. You know, she stuck to them the whole way. And she gave pretty concise, for her especially, pretty concise, crisp answers. And she put out a whole bunch of sound bites out there that could circulate, and that's the game. That's how you win these debates. Trump's style is much more freewheeling and kind of word association, stream of consciousness. And these kinds of debates, that style doesn't work for it's just, you end up with what we saw, which is kind of like you're going around in circles and you hit a couple of good points, you have a couple good moments, but then you keep talking and you sort of step on your own good moments. It's a style that works really well for, say, his rallies. I think it would work. That's why I say if he could sit down with Joe Rogan, if it would be Kamala, Trump, and Rogan, I'd give advantage Trump all day for that. Because that is in Trump's wheelhouse. He's a freewheeling guy. We're having a freewheeling conversation, and Trump can hang in there. He's not going to get flustered. He's always got something to say. Now Kamala, it's not like, oh, you have 60 seconds, go. It's a conversation. So now Kamala has to try to get a word in edgewise. She'd have difficulty doing that. She has to try to keep up and follow, kind of follow the leader as Trump is talking. And I think it would be a disaster for her. But again, that's why she's not going to do that. She's not ever going to. So that's what we're at. You have two candidates who could not be more opposite, both ideologically but also stylistically. And Kamala is not going to walk into a scenario where it doesn't play to her strengths. She's not ever going to do it. Trump, I mean, to his credit, he's been willing to walk into scenarios that don't play to his strengths as much. But I think now you've done it. We don't need to do that again. For the same reason that she's not going to do it. So if she's not going to do it, why do you do it? So I think you just leave that be, and you don't need to say no, because it's not like you're scared. You're saying, yeah, I'd be happy to talk to you again. Here are the scenarios where I would be willing to talk to you. And by the way, I want to talk to you in places where it's the opposite of being scared here. It's like, I want to actually be able to have a conversation. I don't want you to have all these guardrails and protections by the moderator. Right? I want to take the training wheels off and have a real discussion. And I think, honestly, the more I think about it, I think Trump should come back and propose exactly that. He should propose exactly, let's sit down with Joe Rogan, you and me. She's not ever going to do it, but then no one can accuse him of being scared, he doesn't want to talk to her. He said, let's talk for 3 hours. What do you say? If you'd like to see what else I have to say, you can access my full show by going to dailywire.com or by going to the Matt Walsh Show Twitter page. Hope to see you there. Godspeed.